Yes, yes. So let us continue and create, let's modify our function to be a bit more dynamic. And to do that, I am going to create a dictionary, right? And the purpose of the dictionary is to store a plan for each day, right? So I'm just going to create that dictionary somewhere above here. I'm going to call it week plan it, cool. And then like how you create a dictionary, it's going to have every day. So we're going to start with Monday, and say, what was it? I think go to the doctor, right? Then we're going to go Tuesday, and we're going to say go to the bank, right? And then we're going to go all the way to Friday or Sunday, rather. Okay, so there we go. There's our dictionary, and it has all the days of the week and the plans that we have for each day. All right, it's just a dictionary. It's quite static at the moment, but we're building up to that. Later on, we could have something like a sort of like a database where we could add and retrieve plans for each day, depending on calendar day, right? So not just on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but your plans change according to the days of the year. All righty. So let's so now let's reformat this week by number, right? So we should be able to go to 1 to 7 now. So what am I going to do here? I'm just going to comment these out, right? And then we are going to get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it, right? So I am going to say that instead of this list that we have here, I don't want that anymore. I'm going to say, let's call it something else. Day list. I think that was what it was even called before, but anyway. And then I'm going to access my weekly plans dictionary, and then I am going to get the keys, right? Because I want the days, right? And since I want it to be a list, I am going to wrap it with this lovely helper function, right? Called list that turns any iterable into a list type, right? So now that's the list of days. Just gonna comment list of days, right? And then I want to select a date, right? Select a day is going to be equals to 1, right? Day minus 1. I remember I told you why we're doing day minus 1. Okay, because Python starts at 0. We say now day starts at 1. So to get the Python format right, then we have to do that. So now let's say if I want to use this list, right? I want to use the day that we get to get an index of, use it in the index on this list so I can retrieve something from here, right? So how will we do that? Let's just use if right now. So if the select day is less than 0, right? So let's do the error case, or select day is greater than 6, right? I want to return an HTTP response, right? And say not found, and say, okay, this day, actually, since it's between, does not exist, right? Exists in the friendly exclamation mark. Okay. Now, what happens if the input is within these parameters, right? Else, right? Let's get a day, right? Let's get a day. Let's select our day. Selected day is equals to, what would we do now when we do it? Let's say day list, right? We already have a day list up there, and I want to use the select day to index that, right? And then I want to return HTTP response of week plan dict, and we're going to index it with our selected day. All right. So I just felt like, let me just explain what I've just done right now. So we have just reformatted our function, right? It takes in a request and an integer that represents the day. And then I have created a list from the keys in our dictionary, right? These are the keys on the left of the column, right? So then I want whatever we put in here, right? Whatever we put, if we put in 1, it represents Monday. But in our list, Monday is actually at index 0. So that's why I have to subtract 1 minus 1 is 0. So that I can get the first item. And then this will be number 1. This will be number 2. This will be number 3. This will be number 4. This is number 5. This is number 6. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm saying, like, if someone enters any number that is not in our range of 0 to 6, right? Below 0 and above 6, tell them, well, this day doesn't exist. There are only 7 days in a week, right? And then if someone enters a correct value, that is, right, a correct number within this range, the selected day is going to be, now we're going to select a day, right? I'm creating a variable called selected day, and I'm assigning to that variable. I am indexing our list with the value that we calculated here, and then retrieving that key from our list, right? And then I am going to now return the item of that relating to that key, right? So let's try it out. Remember, we only had 1 to 3 before, but let's try 5 and see if that works. So this is go to the gym, right? And when I say 5, that means actually 4, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Go to the gym. And 6 would be Saturday, go for lunch with friends. And 7 would be go to the park Sunday. And let's see if we go 8. That works. Or 125. This day does not exist. And if we input some random number, I think it should also, or even a string. This day does not exist. All right, okay. So there we go with just some basic logic we're going to be continuing to build on and on this. So I've reformatted this weekly plan function to have to work with just more than one day, and we can now use a dictionary. Now we are going to do some reformatting, all right, to actually let's use a try and except block to handle invalid days. All righty, guys. Okay. Now we have formatted this block here, right? But what happens if I put in Friday? What would happen? This day does not exist. Friday does not exist. Okay, clearly something is not right here. Okay, but I'm just joking. All right, so we have, if you can see that we've only incorporated the full days of the full day of the week in our integer. So let's work with it with our strings, right? And then to do that, we have this here. Let's just look at our URL, right? So this one takes an int, this one takes a string. Let's go back to our view. So what do we want to do here? First of all, we are going to do a try and accept. Should we do that? Sure. Let's try that out. So first, what I want to do is just going to remove this, right? And then I am going to select my day, right? Now, how am I going to do that? Okay, well, the day is going to be given to me, right? So let's try something. Let's try something. Let's try something. Let's try something. We're going to go day, whatever, and I'm going to call it day lower is equals to day dot lower in case the user enters something like Monday or something like that, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use another if block. I'm going to use the try and accept right now. Say day lower, if day lower in our week plans dictionary, I am going to return an HTTP response of the week plan dictionary, and I'm going to index it with day lower, right? Great. And if it's not, what would happen? Well, entered an incorrect input. So you can just say HTTP response not found, right? The day entered was not found. Okay. So then there now that it's saved, and I run this again by pressing F5, and then you see, go to the gym. And I usually go to the park on Sundays, so I'm going to the park. It's working. But let me try another day. Imaginary day. The day entered was not found, right? It does not exist. Just keep it consistent and just say this day does not exist. All right. So now that we've done that, I want to introduce a redirect, right? So essentially a redirect will, like it's, I guess it's kind of a bit explanatory, self-explanatory. It redirects, once you land on a URL, it redirects you to another URL, right? So it's a logic, okay, the user's entered this thing, or has clicked on this, made this action, clicked on this button, let us redirect them to another page, or they've entered their form, let us redirect them to back to the home page, or let us redirect them, let's try and upsell or something like that to a page that has a promo going on. So yeah, let us code, or let us introduce the redirect. Okay, so to use the redirect, I'm going to go here and also import HTTP redirect. There we go, right? And I'm just going to format, I think this can stay the same. This can stay the same, right? This block can stay the same, but however, this one can change, right? And essentially, what is going to happen is we are going to say, instead of the HTTP response, we're going to say HTTP response redirect, right? Now, now, excuse me, let's see if that works. It shouldn't, but yes, that would work actually, because I'm just working on the, let's do this one. So it doesn't work, right? As you can see, what it's trying to do is trying to redirect to this URL, go to the doctor. But you can see something that's working is actually retrieving our day's task. So what is actually missing is that when you're using the redirect, you actually need to construct the URL, right? So to construct the URL, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have another string here. And if we remember, we look at this, this is our base URL for our application. So I'm going to put this there like this and this, all right? And now that should work, okay? And then I'm going to now say one, and not 1R, sorry, v1. And that is still not working. Why is that not working? Oh, 404, no such date. No such date exists, right? Am I doing something wrong here? Okay. Yes, I am doing something very wrong here. What I'm doing here is I'm returning the dictionary, right? I'm returning the item of the dictionary. What I want to be returning is the day, right? So just remove this, and then now before I was indexing the dictionary with the day, and that's why it's returning me the item. I just want the key, right? So now we save that and let our server reload, and then I'm gonna press 1. And there you go. It redirected me to Monday. All right. So that is how a redirect would work with in Django, right? So I've shown you how to use a redirect, although it was for one function, but I think you kind of get the gist of how that's working. If I can go, you can see the success code there. It was successfully redirected. Anytime you see a 302, or anytime you see a HTTP code with status code starts with a 3, it usually deals with the redirect. I stand to be corrected, but yeah. So essentially what now before we didn't have the redirect, we just returned a response. Right now, what we're doing here is we're actually doing what this function does, where it what does this function? It returns when you enter the day in the URL, remember, and this is just going to be a string, it returns the item corresponding to that day as the key. So now this is just constructing the URL that we would have constructed if we just put this in ourselves. So that's how the redirect works, right? Let us try and use some more HTTP functions. See you there.